Alright, welcome back everyone, Zaf here. Let's cook up KASAKA in her tier 20 encore mission. We're gonna make a nice juicy snake dish with her. You'll see in just a moment. We're gonna absolutely cook her using a few tricks you should be using if you have Charlotte. If not, you're missing out on so much bonus damage when you hop into any match. So as you can see, start out the match by auto-attacking, making sure her passives are stacked up, super important, using our shadows, using Min, using its QTE, building up a power gauge on Harper, very important if you want more damage of course, swapping into Charlotte, getting the E off on Harper's ability with the break, Almighty Break, has a lot of crit damage, then we ult with Charlotte, ulti twice back to back, a lot to go over in such a short time, so let me review how you can do exactly what I did on the screen here, cook up KASAKA, making a beautiful snake dish that's gonna be absolutely delicious. But make sure if this guide does help you to subscribe every single day. We're getting closer to the 100k mark, so press that button, super important. But also speaking of super important, make sure you support, the link is down below, it's free, you get free codes by doing so. This video I'm doing right now is to complete Netmarble's mission. As you can see, our first mission for Season 4 was for 500 Essence and also 4 weapon designs for Hunters. So make sure to support, that way I can give you one of these 20,000 codes I've received. And for our latest mission, we have an Encore Instance Engine Guide, that's what this video is for. So once I upload and submit this video, we'll get another new code, so make sure you support, that way you won't miss out. And also really quick, a big shout out to Mordo Burrito for being the first comment on our last video. Here is your shout out to enjoy your juicy Discord role. So 30 seconds on tier 20 is pretty respectable. I'll show you exactly what you need to do. Fairly simple if you ask me, but that's an over-exaggeration because you obviously need Charlotte. This run is made so much easier using the correct elemental typing. If you don't have it, you can of course use our basic teams we already have. So if you hop into tier 20 for example, this is the ideal team to use in my opinion. Though you can swap out Min for Libora, they are both fantastic units. That is, if you have Min to A5, if you don't, you can easily use Libora. She has more bonuses with less investment. So with Min, you get the 5% bonus here when using the Conviction of Light. Super easy to get off. You also have his QT, which I'll show you how to basically cheese, getting the free 50% power gauge bonus without having to waste any time, super important. And then obviously his A5 bonus, if you go to here, you can see a 50% ultimate damage bonus to the target with the highest power. So in this case, that's going to be Charlotte. 50% on her ultimate already is a lot of damage, so that's why Min isn't too bad for this run. We also have his ultimate providing other bonuses here, Heavenly Blessing, the critical damage bonus, so good. We also have Libor of course, again, you can use her. She does have that passive effect of her charm, 15% damage bonus to target, very easy to get off. So of course you can use her, no problems there, and they both have fantastic weapons you can use. So either of these hunters work, but for me, Min is just easier to use, much more simple, less clunky. And for the artifact build, very simple, all cursed on Charlotte, that's the best set for her right now. On Harper, go all greed, super simple. And on Min, the blessing set is the way to go. When you use Libor as well, use the blessing set to get the bonus off. That's basically all you need to know. And for my shadows, I use the obvious choice of Igris, paired with Iron and also Serbi. That's basically the main shadow team every single person does use. Nothing else really makes sense here, so that's the way to go. And then let me show you how the battle actually works. So when you hop in, literally start spamming the screen, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. I don't say auto attack in a basic attack, but I'm just used to saying auto attack. Do this until you get 4 core attacks off. And sorry if you hear my mouse clicking in the background, I know. And once you do this, so once we get up to, it'll say 6 meters here, and use your core attack, swap into Min, you skip the animations, a little trick. It's not that crazy, but still fairly nifty. And the reason why, use your basic attacks with Charlotte, because really quick, as you can see, Charlotte's A5 bonus gives you 8% bonus to your ultimate every single time you use your basic attack. So super important, if you ever to A5, just start basic attacking, building up those stacks. That way you get the most damage possible. And I believe it stacks up to 15 times, so a substantial damage bonus. So make sure in the beginning of the round you do that. And the reason why we QT of Min is because you don't want to do it during the match. It makes the match a bit more clunky with the animation. As you can see, we didn't lose too much time. You have to consider that includes the KASAKA animation going in. So once you do that, fairly simple. We're gonna hop in, use his E to get the damage bonus off, use his Q if you want. You can also core attack, and don't use Harper's QT, use her skill next. The reason why you're not using your QT and just pressing 1, 2, or 3, depending on your hunter slot, is because her QT isn't really important, doesn't provide much of a bonus, just waste our time. So I use her Q, then follow up with her E, and while you're using her E, which is her hammer move, the Almighty Break, building up the crit damage bonus, you want to hold it down and then swap to Charlotte. You'll see here. Again, I'm doing things a bit slow just so you can understand. So continue. When I jump in, use her E, and then see we use Charlotte, and she's still using the skill. If you look to the left, she's still spamming that skill. You don't need to hold it down for her. She does it for you. But when you swap, you'll probably use Charlotte's E by accident. Happens every single time, unless you really time it. No worries, doesn't really provide a negative effect. So once you do that, dash out of it, use her Q, which I did, and then use her ultimate, and then we'll get so much damage off here, you'll see, and boom. If you time it correctly though, you can basically dodge the change here, because once KASAKA falls below a certain amount of HP, they use that rage effect, but no problem, start using your basic attacks, and watch this, our ultimate is back up. That means we can use it again back to back. That's why in the beginning, you spam your basic attacks, because the 20-second passive cooldown that gets your ultimate off when you use your basic attacks applies right away, meaning once your ultimate is up and you swap into Min, do your usual Harper, you can basically get the 20-second passive up again, instantly, letting you ultimate twice back to back. Very important trick. And also I know I forgot to use my shadows, no problem. So that's why now when we hop in, we can use the ultimate twice back to back. Such an amazing trick, basically letting us nuke ASAP, which is something you have to do if you want a good run for this game mode. So, hope you enjoyed. Again, there's a lot of teams you can use. You can use Mirai too, no problems there. Mirai with Hansemi and Wu, just get the bonuses off. Overall, that should work too. You cannot use the water team for this. It's a 50% damage output, which will suck. So obviously not ideal. But let me just show you what teams you can use if you're confused. So for this game mode, hopping in, ignoring our dark team, you can use a light team using Cha, using Go, and using Min as well. That should work. Right now a fire team is not a good choice. Yuso Hyun doesn't do enough in my opinion right now, at least for most people, so don't use her. And don't use Alicia. Alicia is weak on this game mode. As you can see, KASAKA is very strong to water, so not ideal at all. So hopping back in, you can use a light team, you can use a wind team as well. And of course the dark team is ideal. For SR hunters, I mean, you could probably use Kang if you're starting out. But overall, that's not really going to help you out too much. Tier 17 is actually kind of tough to do if you don't have the right team. But if you have Mirai, she'll easily melt the boss, no problems there. So do give those teams a try, it should work out. Again, your standard teams. Just avoid water, it'll not work out. But yeah, that should cover everything, just a brief guide, showing you a few tricks you should be using, getting that double ultimate off, and also charging up Charlotte's passive. 8% per stack, stacking up to 15 times. Oh, crazy. That's why Charlotte is so good at the 5 mark. But anyways, as you can see, I've been on this game for way too long. Don't want to excessively play this game. I was doing a lot of tests for this run, so do drop your like if you enjoyed, of course. Make sure to subscribe. That way we hit 100,000 subs. And of course, make sure you support us. That way you get sent a bunch of free codes. And on that note, this was your Code King Zaf signing out.